The rain was getting worse. Dr. Geo Park pulled his coat tighter as he walked home from his lab. The streets were empty, and the few lights still on made long shadows on the wet ground. It was late, almost midnight, but his work at the Global Space Initiative often kept him until strange hours. Geo stopped suddenly. There, under a broken streetlight, sat a dog. It wasn't big or small, just average size with dirty fur. But its eyes caught Geo's attention. They were amber, almost golden, and seemed too aware for a stray animal. "Go on, get out of here," Geo said, waving his hand. The dog didn't move. It just watched him with those strange eyes. Geo sighed and kept walking. He heard the soft tap of paws following behind him. When he turned, the dog stopped too, sitting politely as if waiting for permission. "I don't have food for you," Geo said. "Go find someone else." The dog tilted its head, almost like it was thinking about what Geo had said. This was odd. Geo had never owned pets. His work took too much time. But he knew enough to find this behavior strange. Thunder cracked across the sky. The dog didn't flinch, which was another unusual thing. Most animals feared loud noises. "Fine," Geo muttered. "Follow me if you want. But just for tonight." The dog got up and walked beside him, not ahead or behind, but right next to Geo like they were old friends out for a stroll. Its fur was a mix of light brown and black, with patches that looked almost metallic in the streetlights, though Geo figured that was just water reflecting on dirty fur. At his apartment building, Geo hesitated. Pets weren't exactly allowed, but the night guard, Mr. Sang, was always asleep this late. "If you make noise, you're out," Geo warned the dog. The animal seemed to nod, which Geo dismissed as his tired mind playing tricks. They slipped past the sleeping guard and up 4 flights of stairs. The dog made no sound at all, not even the click of nails on the hard floor. When they reached his door, Geo fumbled with his keys and pushed inside. His apartment was small and messy. Papers covered most surfaces, and dirty dishes sat in the sink. The dog walked in and sat in the middle of the living room, looking around with those intelligent eyes. "Don't touch anything," Geo said, feeling silly for talking to a dog like it could understand. "I'll find you something to eat." In his kitchen, Geo found some leftover chicken. He put it on a plate and set it on the floor. The dog sniffed it, but didn't eat. "Not good enough for you?" Geo asked, annoyed. The dog looked at the sink full of water, then back at Geo. "You want water? Fine." He filled the bowl and set it down. The dog drank carefully, not spilling a drop. After eating and drinking, the dog went to the corner of the living room and lay down, its eyes still watching Geo. "I'll take you to the shelter tomorrow," Geo said. "I can't keep a dog." The animal blinked slowly, then closed its eyes. Geo went to his bathroom to shower. The hot water felt good after the cold rain. As steam filled the room, he thought about the dog. Something about it bothered him. It wasn't just a stray. It was too clean under the surface dirt, too healthy. And those eyes. When he came out, the dog was still in the corner, but all the papers on his coffee table had been neatly stacked. Geo froze. He knew they had been scattered before. "That's impossible," he whispered. The dog opened one eye, then closed it again. Geo shook his head. He was tired, that's all. He must have straightened the papers earlier and forgotten. As he got into bed, he called out, "I think I'll call you Duri. It means two in Korean, because of your two-colored fur." From the living room, he heard what sounded like a soft huff of agreement. That night, Geo dreamed of stars falling from the sky and a strange ship burning through the atmosphere. And in his dream, Duri wasn't a dog at all, but something else entirely. A week had passed, and Geo still hadn't taken Duri to the shelter. Each morning, he told himself, "Today I'll do it," but each evening he found a reason not to. Duri was clean now. His coat shone in the light, the brown and black fur looking almost polished. And he never made a mess, never barked, and seemed to understand everything Jiho said. "I have a friend coming over," Jiho told Duri as he cleaned his apartment. "Her name is Nari. She works with me. Be good." Duri sat by the window, watching birds fly by. He turned his head when Jiho spoke and blinked once as if to say, "Of course." The doorbell rang at exactly 6 o'clock. Dr. Nari Kim was always on time. She was shorter than Jiho, with short black hair and bright eyes that missed nothing. "You finally got a dog?" she asked when she saw Duri. She put down the food she had brought and knelt to look at him. "He's beautiful. What breed is he?" "I don't know," Jiho said. "He's a stray. I'm taking him to the shelter soon." Nari frowned. "Why?" "He seems well-behaved. I work too much. A dog needs attention." Duri walked up to Nari and sat in front of her. He held out his paw, which made her laugh. "He's very polite," she said, shaking his paw. "And those eyes, they're almost human." They ate dinner at Jiho's small table. Duri watched them from his spot by the wall, not begging for food like normal dogs would. "So," Nari said, "how is your research going? Any progress on the space signals?" Jiho worked on finding patterns in radio waves from deep space. He had been tracking an unusual signal for months. "Something strange happened yesterday," he said. "The signal changed. It was stronger, but only for a few minutes." As they talked about work, Duri got up and walked to the television. He stared at it, then back at Jiho. "Does he want to watch TV?" Nari asked, amused. "That's silly," Jiho said, but he picked up the remote and turned on the TV anyway. The news was showing a report about space exploration. Duri sat down, eyes fixed on the screen. "Jiho," Nari whispered, "look at him." Duri was completely still, head slightly tilted, watching the program with what looked like real interest. When the report ended and a cooking show came on, he lost interest and walked away. "That's not normal dog behavior," Nari said. She studied animals' brains as part of her job. "Dogs don't watch TV like that. They don't focus on specific content." "He's just a smart dog," Jiho said. After dinner, they moved to the living room to continue talking. Jiho had left research papers all over his desk. While they talked, Duri walked to the desk and began moving papers with his nose. "Hey, stop that," Jiho called, but then froze when he saw what was happening. Duri wasn't making a mess. He was organizing the papers. He pushed all the ones about the same topic into neat piles. "That's impossible," Nari whispered. She took out her phone and began recording. When Duri finished, he walked back to his corner and lay down, as if what he had done was perfectly normal. "Jiho," Nari said, her voice serious now, "this is not a regular dog. We need to run some tests." "Tests? He's just smart," Jiho insisted, but doubt crept into his mind. That night, after Nari left, Jiho couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about how Duri had arranged his papers by topic, something that required reading and understanding. From the living room came a soft blue glow. Jiho got up to check. Duri was sitting by the window, looking up at the stars. For a moment, just a split second, Jiho thought he saw Duri's eyes glow with the same blue light. He blinked, and Duri was just a dog again. "What are you?" Jiho whispered. Duri looked at him, and for the first time, Jiho was truly afraid of the answer. 3 weeks had passed since Duri came to live with Jiho. The shelter was now a forgotten idea. How could Jiho give away a dog that could sort papers and understand human speech? Nari visited often. She brought simple tests to check Duri's intelligence. "This test is for a 3-year-old human child," Nari explained as she set up colored blocks on the floor. "Let's see if he can match the patterns." Duri looked at the blocks with his amber eyes. When Nari showed him a red-blue-yellow pattern, he used his nose to push blocks into the same order. "Amazing," Nari whispered. But this doesn't make sense. Dogs can't do this. That night, Jiho woke to a strange sound. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It was coming from the bathroom. He got up and turned on the light. Dury was there, his claws moving across the bathroom floor tiles in careful patterns. Jiho watched in shock as the dog carved perfect circles and lines that crossed each other in complex ways. "Dury, stop that," Jiho said. The dog looked up, and Jiho gasped. Dury's eyes were glowing blue again, but this time there was no mistake. The glow was real and bright. Dury whined and ran to the living room. Jiho followed and found him pawing at the laptop on the coffee table. "What do you want?" Joe asked, his heart beating fast. Dury pawed at the laptop again. With shaking hands, Jiho opened it. The screen lit up, showing a blank document. Dury looked at it, then at Jiho, then back at the screen. "You want to type something?" Joe asked, feeling crazy for even thinking it. Dury moved closer to the keyboard. Slowly, carefully, he used his nose to press a key. Then another, and another. S-H-I. Jiho couldn't breathe. This couldn't be happening. Dury continued. C-O-R-A-S-H. Ship crash. Jiho read aloud. Dury pressed more keys. R-E-A-M-E-A-M-V-E-E. Ship crash. Remember. Jiho grabbed his phone and called Neri. It was 3 a.m., but he didn't care. "Neri, you need to come over right now," he said when she answered. "What?" "It's the middle of the night, Jiho. It's Dury. He's typing on my laptop." There was silence on the other end. Then, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. When Neri arrived, her hair was messy, and she wore sweatpants, but her eyes were alert. Jiho showed her the words on the screen. "He typed this. You're absolutely sure?" she asked. "I watched him do it," Jiho said. Neri knelt beside Dury. "Can you do it again?" she asked the dog. Dury moved to the keyboard and slowly typed. N-O-T-D-O-G. "Not dog, Neri read," her voice barely a whisper. "What are you then?" Dury stared at the screen for a long time. His whole body seemed to shake with effort. Finally, he typed, L-O-S-T. Jiho and Neri looked at each other, both afraid and amazed. "I think," Neri said slowly, "that Dury is remembering who or what he really is." That night, they took turns watching Dury. The dog slept fitfully, his legs twitching as if running in a dream. Once, he woke up suddenly, his eyes glowing so bright they lit up the whole room. In the morning, Jiho found something strange on his bathroom floor. The scratches Dury had made weren't random. They formed a perfect map of stars, a star system Jiho had never seen before. "We need to keep this secret," Neri said when she saw it. "If people find out about him." Jiho nodded. He knew what would happen. Scientists, government agents, maybe even the military would want to take Dury away to study him. "But we need to help him remember," Jiho said. "He's trying to tell us something important." As if hearing them, Dury walked to the window and looked up at the sky. A small patch of fur on his back fell off, revealing something shiny and metallic underneath. The transformation had begun. A few days passed since Dury first typed on the laptop. Joe had taken time off work, telling his boss he was sick. He wasn't sick, but he couldn't leave Dury alone now. Not when things were changing so fast. Every morning, more patches of Dury's fur fell out. Under the fur was something that looked like metal, but it moved like skin. It shone in the light with colors that changed when Dury moved. "I want to take a sample," Jiho told Neri, who had also taken time off work. "Just a small piece to look at under a microscope." Neri nodded. "Be careful. We don't know what it is." Jiho found a small patch of the metal-like material on Dury's back. He took a pair of scissors and tried to cut a tiny piece off. The scissors broke. It's harder than steel, he said, showing Nari the broken scissors. That night, Dury typed more words on the laptop. BODYCAANGINGREPAIRING. Your body is repairing itself, Nari asked. Dury pressed a single key. Why? Why did you look like a dog? Joe asked. Dury typed slowly. SAFEFORMHIE. You were hiding. From what? Nari asked. Dury didn't answer that question. Instead, he walked to the bathroom and stood in front of the mirror. He looked at himself for a long time, as if seeing his changing body for the first time. His eyes were fully blue now, glowing softly in the dark. The patches of metal had spread over his back and down his legs. His tail was gone, replaced by something that looked like a thin metal rod that moved smoothly from side to side. I need to take a blood sample, Jiho said. It might help us understand what's happening. He took a needle from his medical kit. Dury sat still and let Joe try to put the needle in his leg, but the needle bent when it touched Dury's skin. It's impossible, Jiho said. No living thing has skin this hard. Maybe he's not a living thing, Nari said quietly. Not in the way we understand life. That night, Dury slept on Jiho's bed instead of in his usual corner. Jiho woke up in the middle of the night to find Dury staring at him. The dog, if he could still be called that, made a sound that was almost like words. Did you say something? Jiho asked, fully awake now. Dury tried again. His mouth moved in strange ways, as if he was learning how to speak. Gee, who, came the sound, rough and metallic, but clearly Jiho's name. Jiho sat up, his heart racing. Nari, he called. Nari, come here. Nari ran in from the guest room. What's wrong? He said my name. Dury spoke. Dury turned to Nari. Na-ri, he said, the sound still rough but getting better. This is impossible, Nari whispered. Dogs can't speak. Their vocal cords can't make human sounds. I don't think he has vocal cords anymore, Jiho said. Look! He pointed to Dury's throat, where the fur had fallen away completely. There was a small, glowing blue light under the metal-like skin, pulsing as Dury tried to speak. I think, Jiho said slowly, that he's building himself a voice. In the morning, Jiho found small pieces of metal and tiny machines no bigger than dust on the floor where Dury had been sleeping. When he looked at them under his home microscope, he saw they were like nothing on Earth. Tiny machines that moved on their own. Nanobots, Nari said when he showed her. They're rebuilding him. Dury walked into the room. Almost half of his dog form was gone now. What stood before them was part dog, part something else. Something not from Earth. Teso, Dury said, his new voice still strange but clearer now. I am Teso. Teso? What is Teso? Joe asked, staring at the creature that was once a dog. Dury moved to the laptop. His paws were changing too, becoming more like hands with long, thin fingers. He typed faster now. Teso is my people. We come from star system you call HD 40,307. 6 planets. We live on third planet. Nari sat down, her legs suddenly weak. You're an alien. Yes, Dury said with his new voice. It sounded less rough now, more like metal wind chimes in a soft breeze. I come to study Earth, to make first contact. Jiho paced around the room. But why look like a dog? Why not just land and say hello? Dury's blue eyes followed him. Too dangerous. Humans fear what they do not understand. We study first. Learn language. Learn culture. Then make contact when humans ready. So you were spying on us? Joe asked. Not spy. Observe. Learn. Prepare. Dury's new fingers moved across the keyboard. My ship crashed. Systems failed. Emergency protocol activated. Changed my body to match local life form for safety. And now you're changing back, Neri said. Yes. Memory returning. Body repairing. Duri looked at his half-dog, half-metal body. Soon I will be Teso again. That evening, Neri set up her laptop with a special program she had made. It would help Duri speak better by turning his typing into speech. This will be easier than typing everything, she explained. Duri placed his changing paws on the keyboard, and the computer spoke in a smooth voice. Thank you. This helps much. For hours, they asked questions and Duri answered. The Teso were peaceful. They had been watching Earth for 100 years. They had seen humans go from horse carts to space rockets. They were impressed. Your people learned fast. Duri's computer voice said, faster than any species we know. But you fight too much. We waited until you were more peaceful. And now? Joe asked. What was your mission here? To learn final things, to see if humans ready for truth that you are not alone in universe. Neri leaned forward. Are there others? Other aliens besides your people? Duri was quiet for a long moment. Then, yes, many. Some good, some not good. A chill ran down Jiho's spine. Are we in danger? Not yet, Duri said. But soon, maybe yes. The computer voice couldn't show emotion, but Duri's eyes dimmed as if sad. I need to contact my people. Tell them I am alive. Tell them what I have learned. How? Joe asked. Can you fix your ship? Ship destroyed in crash. Need strong signal. Need to reach orbit station. Jiho thought for a moment. I work at the Global Space Initiative. We have powerful transmitters for deep space communication. Duri's eyes brightened. Yes, would work. But how to get there? I cannot go outside like this. He looked down at his half-transformed body. We could cover you, Neri suggested. A big coat, maybe. No, Jiho said. Too risky. Someone might see. He fought harder. Wait, I have security clearance. I can go at night when fewer people are there. But can you operate the transmitters alone? Nari asked. I think so. I've watched the technicians do it many times. Duri stood up. He was taller now, his back straighter, less dog-like. Must hurry. Important message to send. What message? Joe asked. Duri looked at them both, his blue eyes serious. Warning, he said. Must warn my people. Warn them about what? Nari asked. And warn you too, Duri continued. Earth in danger. All planets in danger. Outside, the sky grew dark. Stars appeared one by one. Somewhere up there was Duri's home. And somewhere, perhaps, was the danger he spoke of. Tell us, Jiho said. What kind of danger? Duri's new fingers moved across the keys again. The computer voice spoke. They are called the Orcs. They hunt young space-traveling species, and they are coming here. In a tall government building across the city, Director Han Tae-soo sat in a dark room lit only by screens. He was a serious man with short gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. For weeks, his team had been tracking unusual signals in the city. Show me again, he told the young technician beside him. The screen lit up with a map of the city. A bright dot pulsed in one spot. The signal started 3 weeks ago, the technician said. They're like nothing we've seen before. Not radio, not microwave. Something new. Director Han leaned closer. And they come from this apartment building. Yes, sir. Apartment 402. Belongs to Dr. Jiho Park. He works at the Global Space Initiative. Han's eyes narrowed. Interesting. What do we know about him? He studies space signals. Very smart. Lives alone. The technician paused. Until recently, neighbors say he got a dog. Han didn't smile. A dog. Show me the thermal scans. Another screen lit up. It showed heat images of Jiho's apartment. 2 human shapes moved around. Jiho and a woman. But the third shape was strange. It was partly cool, like metal, and partly warm, but in all the wrong places for a dog. That, Han said, pointing to the strange shape, is not a dog. He picked up his phone. Team Alpha, prepare for capture. Target is in apartment 402, North Star Building. Approach with extreme caution. This is not a drill. Back in the apartment, Dury suddenly went still. His ears, what was left of them, turned toward the window. What's wrong? Joe asked. Someone watching, Dury said, his voice clearer now. Electronic eyes. Heat sensors. Neri looked scared. How do you know? Can feel them. Tazo sensitive to electronic signals. Dury moved to the window and looked out. They know about me. Jiho felt cold fear in his stomach. Who knows? Government agents. Military. Coming now. Dury turned to them, his blue eyes urgent. Must leave. Not safe here. But where can we go? Nari asked. If they're government, they can find us anywhere. Jiho thought fast. Your family's cabin. In the mountains. No one knows about it. Nari nodded. It's remote. No neighbors for miles. Pack quickly, Jiho said. Only what we need. They grabbed clothes, food, and laptops. Dury took the voice program and some tools Jiho used for his work. How did we get Dury out without being seen? Nari asked, looking at the half-dog, half-metal creature. Jiho found a large coat and a hat. Put these on, he told Dury. Keep your head down. Dury looked strange in human clothes, but it was better than nothing. Jiho checked the street from the window. There's a black van parked across the road, he said. Men in suits. They're coming in. Back door, Nari said. Through the service exit. They hurried down the back stairs, Dury moving awkwardly in his new form. His legs were longer now, more like a human's but still bent like an animal's. They reached Jiho's car just as they heard shouts from the apartment building. They're inside, Jiho said, starting the car. We need to hurry. As they drove away, Dury looked back. They have weapons, he said, and machines to track us. My car has a tracker, Jiho realized. They'll follow us. Turn here, Nari said, pointing to a side street. My friend owns a garage. He can help us. 10 minutes later, they left the garage in a different car, an old truck that belonged to Nari's friend. This has no tracking devices, Nari explained. We should be safe now. They drove out of the city as night fell. Dury sat in the back, covered by a blanket. His transformation was happening faster now. His face was longer, his body taller. Only small patches of fur remained. How long to the cabin? Joe asked. 3 hours, Nari said, if we're lucky. In the rearview mirror, Jiho saw lights on the road behind them. Many lights, moving fast. I think our luck just ran out, he said. Dury looked back. Helicopters too, he said. In the sky. They were being hunted from the ground in the air. And they were running out of time. The old truck climbed the mountain road slowly. Jiho kept checking the mirrors for lights behind them. I think we lost them, he said after an hour of driving on small back roads. Nari pointed ahead. The cabin is just around this bend. The cabin was small but sturdy, hidden among tall pine trees. No other houses were nearby. Perfect for hiding. Inside, Dury could finally remove the coat and hat. In the dim light of the cabin, they saw how much he had changed during the drive. Almost nothing of the dog remained now. He stood on 2 legs, taller than Jiho. His body was sleek, covered in the metal-like material that shifted colors in the light. His head was longer than a human's, with large blue eyes that glowed softly. You look. Joe couldn't find the right word. Like myself, Dury said. His voice was clear now, musical and strange. My true form is returning. Nari turned on the cabin's old generator, and light filled the small space. Will you tell us more about your people now? She asked. Dury sat on the floor, his long legs folded in a way human legs could not bend. "The Tezo are very old," he began. "We began space travel when humans still lived in caves. We have visited many worlds, met many species." "And you've been watching Earth?" Joe asked. "Yes, for a long time. First, just with distant tools. Then, closer. Last 50 years, we have had watchers on Earth." "Other aliens? Like you?" Nari asked, surprised. "Yes, many. All in forms that blend in." Duri's eyes dimmed. "I was newest watcher. First mission. Then ship crashed. Memory lost. Systems damage." Outside, the wind grew stronger. Rain began to fall, tapping on the cabin roof. "But why Earth?" Joe asked. "What's special about us?" "You are interesting," Duri said. "Most species take twice as long to go from simple tools to space travel. You learn quickly, create quickly, sometimes destroy quickly too." He stood up and walked to the window. His movements were fluid now, graceful. "And the Voraks?" Nari asked. "You said they're coming here." Duri turned, his body changing colors to a deeper blue. "Voraks hunt young space species. They wait until a planet learns to send ships beyond their own system. Then they come." "But why?" Joe asked. "Resources, territory, and—" Duri paused. "They fear competition. Any species that might one day grow strong enough to challenge them." Jiho felt cold despite the cabin's warmth. "How much time do we have?" "5 of your years, maybe less." Duri's hand, with long fingers and no claws now, touched the window glass. "They move between stars slowly, but they are coming." Nari opened her laptop. "Then we need to warn people. The whole world needs to know." "Who would believe us?" Joe asked. "We'd sound crazy." "Director Han believes," Duri said. "That's why he hunts us. He knows I am not from Earth." As if on cue, a distant sound reached them. The thump, thump, thump of helicopter blades. "They found us," Gio said, moving to look out the window. In the distance, lights moved through the trees, coming closer. "We need to run again," Neri said, starting to gather their things. "No," Duri said, his voice calm. "No more running." As they watched, the last of Duri's transformation completed. The final patches of fur fell away. His face reshaped into something beautiful and alien. The soft glow surrounded his body. "I am fully restored," he said. "My powers have returned." Jiho looked at him in wonder. "What powers?" Duri raised a hand. The lights in the cabin grew brighter, then dimmed. The old radio in the corner turned on by itself, then off. "I can control energy," Duri said. "And soon, they will know they do not hunt a dog. They hunt a Tezo." Outside, the helicopter grew closer, its searchlight cutting through the rain. The helicopter's searchlight swept across the cabin windows. Men with flashlights moved through the trees. They were surrounded. "Stay inside," Duri told Jiho and Nari. "I will speak to them." "They have guns," Jiho warned. "They might shoot you." Duri's body shimmered with colors. "Their weapons cannot harm me now." He walked to the door and stepped outside. The rain had stopped, but water still dripped from the trees. The searchlight found him immediately, bright light washing over his alien form. "Hands up," a voice shouted through a loudspeaker. "Do not move." Duri stood still, his blue eyes glowing in the night. He raised his long arms slowly. Inside the cabin, Jiho and Neri watched through the windows. "What is he doing?" Neri whispered. "I think he's surrendering," Jiho said. Men in black uniforms moved closer to Duri, guns pointed at him. One man stepped forward. It was Director Han. "You are not what I expected," Han said, looking up at the tall alien. "And what did you expect, Director Han?" Duri asked. His voice carried clearly through the night air. Han's eyes widened in surprise. "You know my name. I know many things, Dury said. I know you have been tracking me since I crashed. I know you have studied the signals from my ship. And I know you are afraid. Not afraid, Han said, cautious. You are the first confirmed alien life form on Earth. Dury tilted his head. Not the first, just the first you have found. The men around Han shifted nervously, their guns still aimed at Dury. We need to take you in, Han said, for study, for the safety of our people. Your weapons cannot harm me, Dury said calmly, and I have a message far more important than your studies. From the cabin, Jiho watched as Dury's body began to glow brighter. The alien raised one hand, and suddenly the air above him filled with light. Images appeared, stars, planets, and a dark mass moving slowly between them. This is the Voraks, Dury said, his voice stronger now. They are coming to your solar system. They hunt young space-traveling species like humans. The image changed to show huge ships, black and sharp, moving through space. Han stared at the images. Is this real? Yes. In 5 years, they will reach Earth. Dury lowered his hand, and the images faded. Now you see why I must contact my people. Inside the cabin, Jiho made a decision. He opened the door and stepped outside, his hands raised to show he was not a threat. Director Han, he called. I'm Dr. Jiho Park from the Global Space Initiative. Dury is telling the truth. Han turned to look at him. You harbored an alien life form, Dr. Park. That's a serious offense. More serious than the end of human civilization. Jiho asked. Dury needs to warn his people. They can help us. Nari joined them outside. Director, I'm Dr. Nari Kim. I've documented everything. Dury's species, the Teso, have technology far beyond ours. They might be our only hope against the Voraks. Han was quiet for a long moment. The men around him waited for orders. What exactly do you need? Han finally asked Dury. A powerful transmitter, Dury said, strong enough to reach orbit. My people have a listening station there. Han nodded slowly. We have something that might work. At the mountain base. Sir, one of Han's men said, are you sure about this? No, Han admitted, but I'm sure about what I just saw. He looked up at the stars, barely visible through the trees. If there's even a small chance this threat is real, we need to act. He turned to his men. Stand down. Lower your weapons. The guns lowered slowly. Dr. Park, Dr. Kim, and Han paused, looking at Dury. I am called Dury now, the alien said. It means two in Korean. I have grown fond of it. Very well, Dury, Han said. Come with me. Let's send your message. As they walked toward the helicopter, Dury looked up at the night sky. Somewhere up there, his people were waiting. And somewhere, still far away but getting closer, the Voraks were coming. Time was running out. The mountain base was huge, hidden inside the mountain itself. As the helicopter landed, Jiho saw giant satellite dishes pointed at the sky. This is our deep space listening station, Director Han explained as they walked through heavy metal doors. We built it to detect signals from space. Inside, people in uniforms and lab coats stared at Dury. Some looked afraid, others amazed. No one had seen anything like him before. The main transmission array is this way, Han said, leading them down a long hallway. The transmission room was filled with computers and large screens. Engineers worked at control panels, but they all stopped when Dury entered. Everyone out, Han ordered. Security level 10 clearance only. The room emptied quickly until only Han, Jiho, Nari, and Dury remained. Will this be powerful enough? Joe asked Dury. Dury examined the equipment, his long fingers moving over the control panels. Yes, with some changes. What changes? Han asked. Your technology is basic, Dury said, but I can improve it. For the next hour, Dury worked on the transmitter. His hands moved faster than human hands could, connecting wires and rebuilding parts. Jiho helped where he could, amazed at what Dury was creating. "This will boost the signal 1,000 times," Dury explained. "Enough to reach the orbit station." When he finished, the transmitter looked very different. Parts of it glowed with the same blue light as Dury's eyes. "Ready," Dury said. Han checked his watch. "Dawn in 30 minutes. If there are other watchers like you, will they see this?" "Yes," Dury said. "All Tezo on Earth will know. They will help." He placed his hands on the transmitter and closed his eyes. The blue glow spread from his body to the machine. The screens around them filled with strange symbols. The Tezo language. "What are you telling them?" Nari asked. "Everything," Dury said, his eyes still closed. "About the crash, about you helping me, about the Voraks coming." The message took 10 minutes to send. When it was done, Dury stepped back from the transmitter. "Now we wait," he said. They didn't wait long. Just as the sun rose, all the screens in the room lit up at once. Symbols flashed across them. A reply from the Tezo. Dury read the message, his body changing colors from blue to gold with excitement. "They have heard. They are coming. Not just the orbit station, the main fleet." "Fleet?" Han asked sharply. "How many ships?" "Hundreds," Dury said. "Not for war, Director Han. For defense, to help prepare Earth." Jiho felt relief wash over him. "How long until they arrive?" "First ships in 3 days," Dury said. "The rest will follow." Han sat down heavily in a chair. 3 days to prepare the world for first contact. He looked at Dury. "The public will panic." "Then do not tell them everything at once," Nari suggested. "Start with the good news. We are not alone. The rest can come later." Han nodded slowly. "Seems I need to call the president." He stood up and held out his hand to Dury. "Thank you for the warning." Dury looked at the offered hand, then carefully shook it. "You are welcome." 1 year later, Jiho stood on the deck of the new joint human Teso space station. Earth looked beautiful from orbit, blue and peaceful. Beside him stood Dury, now an official ambassador between their species. "The defense shield is almost ready," Dury said. "Your scientists learn quickly." "Human ingenuity," Jiho said with a smile. "It's what we're good at." In the station's main hall, humans and Teso worked side by side, building ships and weapons to defend against the Voraks. What had started with a stray dog had led to humanity's greatest leap forward. "Do you ever miss being a dog?" Joe asked. Dury's body shimmered, and for a moment, he took the shape of the dog Jiho had found in the rain. Then he changed back to his Teso form. "I keep this ability," he said, "to remind me how we met, and to remind me that sometimes the best things come from unexpected places." As they looked out at the stars, a fleet of new ships, built with both human and Teso technology, prepared for their first test flight. On their sides was a new symbol, a dog's silhouette against a field of stars. They had 4 years until the Voraks arrived. But now, they would be ready. The end.